What's up, everybody? Um, yeah, so I just thought I'd maybe try to continue on the discernment discussion from the last video. I've been so tired. I feel like I sometimes I shouldn't wait till the end of the day to post these videos. Maybe I could get into a habit of posting earlier, but we'll see. Um, so the discussion the other day about discernment, it's funny because I'll just give a brief recap. I signed up with this for this course from this woman who I'd been doing hypnotherapy sessions with, and it was partially a class, so like a group session, and then it would switch to just one-on-one, or we're both like having a session with someone else. And this woman ended up, siphoning our energy, myself and the classmates' energy, and all the previous students stopped going to stopped talking with her. Like they just pretty much completely cut cords. And so I'm in the middle of this class, and there was a lot of warning signs, and I ignored the warning signs. Or I would look on the bright side, and I would make excuses for her. And yeah, it was just a huge learning lesson. But it's funny because I was talking to my friend uh, like a week ago. This is before I posted the video, so it's kind of a continuation because it's funny in his practice he does combo and other psychedelic um, groups, and um, he's very good at what he does. He's done over 1,000 combo sessions. Um, I'd give you his name, but I don't want to. It's not appropriate. Probably that I haven't asked for him permission to talk about our our dialogue between each other. So, but since I'm not mentioning his name, it's okay. Nobody knows who I'm talking about. But he had a partner that was like inappropriately touching girls at times, and it wasn't like he would go at like any girl. He'd go after the most beautiful girls in these um like ayahuasca sessions. And he had my friend, he had people complain to him about this guy, his partner. And I don't know, he kind of sat on it. Maybe he even talked to the guy about it, but nothing happened. So then his girlfriend flies in from out of town, and he says something to her that was kind of disrespectful. And then my friend ends up getting an earache in both ears, ear infection in both ears. And finally, when I saw him and we're talking about this, I'm like, dude, you're missing all the signs. Like spirit universe is trying to warn you, like you need to have discernment. You need to listen to these people and what's going on, and then do something about it. And um, well, I don't know if I said do something about it, but I said you need to listen. You're not listening. That's why you have an ear infection in both ears, not one ear, but both ears. I don't know if there's any doctors out there who can, you know, what are the odds? I've never seen that before. Not to say it's not possible. It's really easy, but this isn't a mistake. It's 100% on purpose. Like the universe is saying you're not listening, and we're just gonna, you know, infect both your ears. You don't need them anyway because you're not listening to anything we have to say. And I can say this because I've had so many things. Like at one point, I was getting arguments with my wife, and I bit my tongue a couple times. And it's not something I do all the time. I never bite my tongue, but I bit my tongue like, I don't know, 3 times in one day or something like that. and so my tongue's all swollen, I can barely eat, it's, like, really painful. But the universe is telling me, "Shut the hell up. Stop talking. You're making it worse. Bite your tongue." So, I finally got the point and was like, "Okay, I'll bite my tongue." And I think I did for the most part. But, the universe talks to you. It I've said this before, but I feel like with every video, if you're coming across this video, it's because you needed to hear something I had to say. There are no coincidences. Um, so this is a timeless video. If you watch this in a year, in 5 years, a couple months from now, it doesn't matter. Don't disregard it because it's not the latest video. You needed to hear something in this video. I've watched many videos for that reason. I don't even probably 90% of the time these days, I don't even pick a video. I just let YouTube pick the next video. I watch the video all the way to the end. Sometimes I'll skip if they're trying to tell me to subscribe, or I subscribe to a lot of channels anyways. But I don't need to hear the message every time um, to subscribe. So I might skip. Or some people are warning of anyways. I might skip, but I listen to the end, and then it'll pick YouTube will pick another video for me to watch, and depending on whether I have time to watch it, I'll watch it. But so back to discernment. His girlfriend ends up breaking up with him because of what this partner had said to her. It's not just because of that. She was going to move to Minnesota um, to live here and work with my friend. But after realizing his business partner is kind of a jackass, she was like, "I can't move out there anymore, and we might as well just end it now." And he was distraught. Like he was pretty upset about it. I mean, yeah, I guess who wouldn't be? But he wasn't listening. And a couple weeks after, we talk again, and he ended up saying, "Look, I'm going to leave the business. Just going to do my own thing. I can't work with you anymore." And the guy ended up saying, "No, you don't need to do that. Like, I'll leave." So he ended up cutting his business partner out um, because he just had bad business practices. Like I mentioned before, he was using it as a dating service. But I think it's more than that. Like one of the girls, I guess he like went back to her house after a session and like made out with her. But then he brought his girlfriend to the next event or something like that. And then the other girl was there that he was making out with, and it was what a mess. That's so awkward. And like, uh, yeah, this is a sacred ceremony stuff. It's not pick up women like it's a bar. This isn't like a dating scene. I mean, I'm not saying you can't meet your future girlfriend or wife, but I mean, it shouldn't be about that. That should be a side effect or an afterthought. You go there for the healing, and then maybe you meet somebody who's also trying to heal themselves, and it, works out fine. But you don't go on a you don't go there to pick up women. And that was kind of there were so many other things, but the point is, my friend, he wasn't using discernment. And ironically, this was happening at the same time about that I was needing to use my discernment with this spiritual teacher, and I wasn't using my discernment. And it just got me thinking, like, I think this was around like the Scorpio full moon that just happened. And it might have been a planetary alignment, you know, but it was definitely an energetic thing, and it probably just wasn't us two. I imagine a good portion of the world was probably going through this needing to use discernment kind of a thing. Um, and that's why when I watch a YouTube video and there's like 10,000 people that watch the same video, but I feel like they're talking directly to me. Like they're bringing up specific things that happened, not specific events, but like, they might give a message saying, "Hey, you need to use your discernment around this time." But they're talking, there's 10,000 or 100,000 other people that watch the video, and and I'm watching the video and I feel like it's just for me. But that's how it works. That's how the energies work, is that, you know, they kind of come through and affect the collective. And yeah, so anyways, just wanted to talk about that discernment, and how it might work or whatever. The other thing was, so I've talked about Ann Tucker and the angels before, but it's really like profoundly affected my life in a big way. And so I wanted to bring it up again and just share my experience. And if you feel like it's something that you'd like to do or something, I put her website in the description and you can reach out. I think Soul Convergence, so it's May. I think she's doing another Soul Convergence in June, which is the first program I ever did with her. And that just expanded my energies. And it did so much more than that. I mean, man, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie. It was probably one of the hardest things probably I've ever done in my life. But I don't think I'm like most people. I think most people have an easier life. I chose a hard life when I came here. I don't know. I don't want to get into like a pissing match of like who had the hardest life. A lot of people had hard lives, but a lot of people didn't have hard lives. They had decent lives with like, both their parents in their life, and they had a good childhood and, whatever. I didn't have all that. So, um, yeah, I don't even know where do I begin. How do I start, talking about that? So there are meditations that you do, and Soul Convergence had like 16 meditations, if I remember right, or was it 12? And you do one meditation for 3 days. If you can listen to it 3 times a day, that's the best. I think that's what I did. I was doing yoga and stuff before. I had to drop pretty much everything I was doing and just do the meditations. Um, but I was divinely led to those, that soul conversion. I can't even talk to the soul convergence, because one day I was walking by my room, my office, and I heard my computer playing out of nowhere. I don't think it'd been playing all night. It literally just popped on and started playing the second I walked by. So I go in. It's not just any computer, it's my crypto computer. So I'm like, "Oh, okay, I need to do something with crypto, I guess, trying to get my attention over here." Timing is of the essence, I guess. And I ended up transferring some money to crypto, but I couldn't transfer all of it. And there was a specific amount that was left. And then I forget how it came up, but I think the amount that was left, I think I ended up watching one of her videos, or one of her videos ended up just popping up in my feed. And then she said, "Join my course." And so I'm looking, and the amount that I couldn't transfer over in crypto was almost the exact amount that I needed to join Soul Converge. So I'm like, okay, this is a sign. I looked at this course like a month ago and I almost signed up, but the price tag kind of made me second guess. It was kind of a lot for me at the time. And I was like, I don't know this person. I don't know if this is going to be good or not. Let me tell you, I'm not going to tell you the price. Just go to the site and you can check it yourself. But I would have paid more for the course and what it did for me, because some of the things that these things do for you, they change your life so much. You can't put a price on that. I might have paid 10,000 for that course had I known then what I know now. And I'm glad she doesn't charge that, but I mean, um, it was more than I'm used to paying, I guess. And like I said, I hadn't worked with her before, but now I would pay more because it was totally worth it. Yeah, you just can't put a price on some of these things. So it removed a lot of my triggers. It's not like it just magically vanished. They released the energy within inside me that was kind of like trapped and stuck, stagnant energy from trauma and other things that are just, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't move. It just, I think it's the type of energy that stays in your body that, just turns into cancer one day or something like that. It's that kind of energy. But when they release it, it's like you feel that emotion very intensely. I remember specifically, and I don't remember which. So she breaks it up the series of meditations between masculine and feminine. And so for me, I think the first meditations I did, like six or so meditations, I think were feminine. Then you take a 2-week break, and then you do like another 8 meditations of the masculine, something like that. Maybe it's vice versa. Maybe it's masculine and then feminine. And the uh, the first time, you know, I think I cried a few times during the first meditation. Just the way that ah, the emotions that it just brought out in me. I just remember the specific part: stepped on, beat down, whatever, which is just how I felt. Like sometimes you just feel like you get stepped on, beat down in this life, in this world. And it's so hard. It's so painful to get back up and just keep going. And so yeah, I was crying from the first meditation. I'm like, "Oh my god, what did I sign up for?" Anyways, then as we got to the last meditation of the maybe it was the masculine, I remember this meditation in particular where there was a storm off in the distance, and the storm was approaching. And at one point, I had released something, and I was so angry that I was just like, "I am the fucking storm," and I became the storm, and that energy lasted for days, maybe weeks. I remember that with the 2-week break, I didn't even wanna start again because of just how I felt. It was like feeling like shit for, like, 3 months. But, you know, all this stuff's trapped inside of you, you gotta let it go. It is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life, or for me. Yeah, but, and you just gotta feel it, and you gotta release it. Feel it, don't try to run from it. If you gotta eat a tub of ice cream or whatever it is to make it through, I was there, I did it. Um, Eating the ice cream or junk food or whatever, you just feel so miserable, like the lowest of the low vibration. And what it's doing is it's trying to just merge all your energies together. And so you've got like guilt, shame, anger, um, fear, um, I don't know all that, I know there's more emotions than that, but all these just low vibration energies that most of us don't want to feel. And so we tend to distract ourselves so we don't have to feel those energies. And a lot of times we even drink alcohol or do drugs or something we because we don't want to feel those emotions. And so, I, like a lot of people in the United States, when we get off work or something or on the weekends, I go out and drink and party and have fun. And it's like when you're drinking, it's kind of like you can be yourself. Um, Although the alcohol, it's not nice with your body. So I don't drink anymore, but Um, that's how we should be all the time without alcohol. And I'm not quite there yet these days, but I'm getting there. I'm definitely a lot happier than I was, even just a few years ago. So, yeah, what we do is we push those emotions down. Like, I don't want to feel that. I want to be happy. I want to be peaceful. We push those emotions down, and then they just get trapped inside of our body. And so what these meditations did with the angels and everything was it just merged our energies. It released it into our energy field, um, and then you feel the full impact of those emotions. But that's how you release it. You need to feel it to release it. Um, so then maybe I don't want to go through everything that happened to me because some of it might scare you. I felt like one of the last meditations, I felt this energy bubble up from like my root or my, somewhere in my gut, bubbled up to my throat. And then that was it. I'm like, oh, nothing happened. That was kind of weird. But then I ended up getting really sick for like 3 days. And at one point, I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, just huffing and puffing, like breathing, like, I thought I was going to die. Um, and what I was able to speak with Anne about it and like, hey, this is what happened to me. It's really weird. And she said that that was a past life for me where I was a lumberjack and a tree had fallen and hit me in the gut. And I ended up having internal bleeding, I think, where I died, 3 days later. And so, I don't know how all the spiritual stuff works, but I felt like you know, I don't know, a part of me died. That essence that was trapped inside of me died, um, within me so that I could live freer. I released that, um, is what I think happened. And yeah, it was scary. At one point, I just, um, because I was sick, but then I woke up in the middle of the night, you know, huffing and puffing, and I was like, you know what? If I'm meant to die, then so be it. Then this is it. I, one part of me though, and I think it had to do with this guy dying, me dying in another life. I felt so lonely after that, and I think a part of me in this lifetime, I'm able to be so independent. Like, I haven't necessarily needed love from other people, but in that moment, I felt so lonely. I was I think we had just had the baby, and so I'm sleeping downstairs, and my wife is sleeping with the baby upstairs, so that I can get my sleep and go to work and whatever. But she didn't even come to check on me when I was sick. I was sleeping like day and night. I don't know, at least 3, 4 days where I'm just in my bed all day. I'd come up maybe for food or water or something, and then I'd go back down and go to sleep again. And it's like she didn't check on me. She didn't do anything. This isn't to blame her. We don't have a perfect relationship, but I felt like I needed her in that moment. But I've never needed anyone like that before in my life. And so maybe this thing that I released was blocking the receptivity of other people's love. Like, I didn't want to receive other people's love either. I'm just fine being me, um, doing my own thing. Like, you don't need to check on me. I don't need you to make me soup or whatever when I'm sick. Um, but I think I was feeling his emotions when he died from the internal bleeding, that nobody was there for him, and he felt so lonely. and then he actually ended up did dying, and I didn't die in my life, but I felt all of it. So anyways, really, strange experiences, but my energies are expanding. I feel like I'm just in a completely different place than I was a year ago. I don't have all the triggers. I'm not perfect right now by any means, but I don't have all the triggers I used to have. Um, you know, I feel like at this point my wife gets more triggered than I do. Um, so yeah, anyways, I can't recommend that course enough. She's also got a gifts activation that you can do, and her programs are timed in a specific way, even though I feel like because when you listen to the meditations, they're all pre-recorded. It's not live. But let me tell you, they're just as powerful. I listen to the pre-recorded, and I've also done live, and there's really like no difference. Um, However, these angels work, the energetic beings that are around, and I can sense my vibration rising. Soul Convergence was different. I didn't feel my energy rising like I do these other programs because I think that was more of a clearing and cleansing. Um, Now, once I've done Soul Convergence, I do the gifts activation. That actually makes me feel better. Like my energy I can feel a complete difference, a complete shift. In fact, when I started the gifts activation last year in the summer, I was ending Soul Convergence, and I was at a really low point in my life, and I was doing the gifts activation, starting to do that, and I could just sense my energy rising. I started wanting to eat better, and I felt like I had more of a choice on what I wanted to eat. Like it wasn't like I feel so bad that I just want to eat ice cream or junk food, which is how I feel sometimes. But I felt so good during the program that I wanted to eat good, and so and I'll say that I think what they do is prime you so that you're ready to receive your gifts. But it's not like you get it during the program or overnight. So I just want to give you a heads up about that. But again, great program. And then right now I'm doing the 9 angelic frequencies, which are frequencies of the new earth. I think I didn't put this link in there, but I think it's antucker.com/angels or angelic 9 frequencies. I don't know. Anyways, um, if you watch her videos on YouTube, Ann Tucker is her channel name. She'll talk about the 9 angelic frequencies or whatever, and so on her website, uh, it has the 9 angelic frequencies and which each meditation kind of targets, like what frequency, what it works on, what's it supposed to do. But even with these, I feel amazing, like really uplifted. They really take you to a high spot in the spiritual realm, whatever it is. They lift you up. And so she says specifically you need to listen to that, to the beginning where they are lifting you up so that you can receive the gifts. If you miss that, you're not going to receive the gifts. You need to listen to the whole thing. So there's a few times where I like started the meditation and then something interrupted me. Actually, like my work called me today. Um, yeah, I was like 10 minutes in on a meditation. I was like, oh crap. So then I ended up doing it right before I started this video where I did the whole meditation again. But and with those, I haven't had the time to do them 3 times a day. I've just been doing once a day. Um, and I think she says that there's no guidelines. It's just whatever you feel with those. I think you need to do them at least once for this. There's this earth meditation that she's doing on June 8th. So if you do at least one of the meditations, you can join that. And yeah, but this program is also really good. I can't tell you all the benefits specifically. Like again, I don't know that if it happens immediately, but I feel so good after doing the meditation. I don't even care. So, of course, I want the gifts or whatever they're offering, and I'm sure that they're within me. But even if they weren't, and I just did it for the meditation itself and how good it makes me feel. I just do it for that. The other day I was feeling really bad and I skipped doing the meditation. I was out of power at my house for a couple days, and half the power was out of the house for a week. And at the end of it, I'm like trying to connect battery powers. I got like a freezer in the garage and other things, and I'm trying to keep everything going, and it's just a lot. And I was just wiped, and I wasn't eating good, and I started doing the meditation again, and one meditation, and I was feeling like back to myself again. It was like I felt something on my head over here. I had a bunch of gas, maybe from the terrible food I was eating. And I did I did the meditation. I like, pushed out the gas. My whatever was going on energetically with my head was all fixed. They just healed me, and I almost cried because of that, because it just, I mean, how nice is that? Just you have all these things going wrong with your body, and some of it was mine, right? With all the crappy food I was eating. The other thing with my head might have had to do with the teacher that I stopped going to her classes, and she kind of knew what I did, maybe, and she was trying to, do a psychic attack. I don't know for sure. All I know is I didn't feel so good before I started, and after I felt amazing. So I just wanted to plug Ann Tucker and all the work she's doing, and so I highly recommend her programs if you can take it. Um, if not, it's okay. It wasn't meant for you, but I'd definitely do it all over again if I had the chance. I mean, if I would take it again. So, with that said, this is kind of one of my longer videos, but yeah, I felt like I really wanted to dive deeper into some of the things that I went through during those meditations. But one thing's for sure: my life will never be the same after doing those, and it's only onwards and upwards from here. So, if she offers more programs, I'll probably take those programs too. I mean, at some point there'll be a point probably where I won't need the programs. I can do my own channeling and my own healing and other things. But for now, no problem taking her programs. They're great, phenomenal. So thank you so much, everybody. I am exhausted, so I will see you another day. Hope you're having a great day. If you like the video, please like it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I could, if you like the content, it's going to be more content like this. Obviously, I'm not going to be talking about Ann Tucker every video, but you know, much deserved for this video. I think I might have had another video where I talked about her, but yeah, leave a comment if you've taken any of her courses, or if you end up taking, or you decided to take her course because of this video. I'd love to know just how it works out for you, and hope you enjoy it. If you want to leave a comment from any courses that you've taken, or whatever, I'm interested in hearing about that. Yeah, if you have anything that you'd like me to talk about, let me know in the comments. All right, take it easy, guys. See ya.